Lucy Edwards, Director of Client Success at VHT Studios. And today I'm at Engel and Volkers, Jacksonville office, and my guest is Corey Hasting. Corey Hasting is the broker owner of Engel and Volkers, Jacksonville.
Yes, thank you for having me.
It's a great pleasure to be here. You have such an amazing success story. I read so much about you, and we just visited your other office where you have a very interesting article right there on the wall, 40 under 40. So I think you should be 30 under 30. But let's start from the beginning. How did you get into real estate?
Yeah, so it's actually a pretty funny story. So I played football at Ohio University, and I was with the Cincinnati Bengals for a year, and I got cut. It was December in Ohio, which is, I always joke, is like the worst place on earth to be because it's not too cold for it to snow, but it's hot enough for it to sleet. And so my agent at the time said, hey, if you want to get out of this bad weather, I have a trainer in Jacksonville, Florida, if you want to get down there and get in the sun. So I came down here, didn't know a single person in the entire city, worked out with him, worked out with the Jags, Titans, Dolphins, a couple other teams. But I needed a job that I can create my own schedule. And so at 23, I got my real estate license in a city that I didn't know a single person in, and in a business that I've never done before. But so I got my real estate license, and I wanted to kind of still stay in shape and still work out for teams and do everything. Within 6 months, I actually quit football and did real estate full time. Won Rookie of the Year in my office, and I just knew that nobody was ever going to outwork me. I didn't really care that I was the youngest person in my office by 15 years. I didn't really care that I didn't know anybody in the city. I knew that if I worked hard and made the connections and did everything, the business would come. And it did. And so I opened Engel and Volkers, bought the franchise in late 2017, opened our first location in April 30th, 2018. So we just celebrated our 4-year anniversary.
That is wonderful.
Yeah, it's been exciting.
Yeah, do you miss sports?
I do. I mean, I miss more the locker room and the competitive nature more so than like the games or anything like that. Some of my teammates are still some of my lifelong friends. And so we talk a lot about the glory days, as we call them. But it's always good to connect with them. And yeah, I think any athlete, misses more the locker room more so than the playing field. And that's what I do.
Well, and now your locker room is at your office with your team.
Yeah.
And I was a witness today of how much you are admired, and you are a great leader. I watched you present and talk about the market, talk about the agent and the importance of being the right agent for the right buyer, the right seller. It's great respect.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I mean, for us, we have such an amazing group. People always ask me all the time, what makes Engle Volkers special? And it's the people, it's the culture that we have. We're ran extremely different than other brokerages locally, where we're the only brokerage in the entire city that doesn't just have a revolving door. Every single person wants to be a part of our firm, has to fit 3 main criteria for us. Number 1 is culture. You have to be a full-time agent. You have to have the right, just right people. We want really good people who want to work with other really good people who want to sell real estate. Seems very elementary, but sometimes can be hard to find. Number 2 is you have to sell $3 million or more per year. For us, in our local market, that puts you in the top 10 to 12%. There's about 11,000 real estate agents here locally. So if you're doing over $3 million annually, you're in that top 1,000, 1,200 number. And because for us, we always want to be held to a higher standard. The brand is such an elevated brand, and we want to hold it to that higher standard. And number 3 is the ability to learn new tools and trades. Our brand provides us with amazing technology, amazing marketing. And so just being able to kind of work that into your business, which a lot of other brands don't have or aren't offered. So it's a little bit of a learning curve, but it's been amazing for us.
So brand and reputation is extremely important, the integrity, and I can hear in your voice, the integrity is there.
Yeah.
You are so proud to be part of that beautiful and very respectful brand. And your agents, I can see how they feed off it. They are hungry to be just as successful and advanced. So how do you talk to your agents for them and encourage them to use the right terminology about the brand to make sure that they're using all the tools that are available in a toolbox?
Yeah, I think it's just education. For us, we're really big on providing trainings and systems and tools and resources and just making it known, hey, you guys have all of these things. You know, a lot of other brands probably have a lot of things possibly that we have, but maybe they don't do a great enough job in showcasing it to the agents. You know, I think real estate agents get so consumed by the day-to-day life of got to show this property, got to get under contract, got to do this. But in reality, if they take a step back and say, okay, what am I getting for being at the brokerage I'm at? What am I getting support level, marketing level, all of these things? And I think we do a fantastic job with our admin staff of really just being able to showcase to them, hey, we can do that for you. Oh, you need that? We can do that for you. Oh, you need this printer? We can do that for you. And just trying to make the life easy of the Engle Volkers advisor.
And online reputation is just as important. So reputation of the brand, yes, goes without saying. Online reputation, how do you encourage your agents to keep track of their consistent marketing, consistent look of themselves even online?
Yeah, I mean, I think real estate is a perception is a reality industry. You have to be seen, essentially. You have to be at the forefront of it. It's not for everybody. I mean, there's some older agents who've been doing it 25 years, who have the database, that don't even probably have a Facebook, right? There's some of those, right? But they're few and far between. You have to be able to put yourself out there so that the public, AKA our customers or clients, can get in touch with you. And I think it's really important. And I think just presenting yourself in a very professional manner goes a really long way, because when people buy a house or sell their house, it's usually their biggest investment of their entire life. And so I always go what I call the Josh Altman idea, is you should always show up to the listing appointment as if you could buy the property. And you know, he's really big on that because you want to give the respect of the buyer and seller of whatever they may need. Now, obviously, you have some customers who would say, why are you wearing that? Come in shorts next time, right? But that also shows that you've broken that barrier of now they're friends, essentially. And so I just think we're in a very professional service industry, and I think it should be taken that way. And I think our agents do a great job of that.
And your social media is amazing. I love your LinkedIn. I think you have really great content there. It's not just someone's picture. It's not just someone's photo. It's really there. It's interesting. I follow you.
Thank you.
I read your articles.
Yeah.
What about your agents? How is their social media, and how do you encourage them to be on top of it?
I think it's great. I mean, one of the things that we offer as a brokerage is we can actually run their entire social medias for them in-house. That way, because a lot of people run into this issue of, especially in the last 24 months of this ever-changing market, is I don't have time, right? So I don't have time to post to Facebook. I don't have time to make this article, all of these things. And so we do that for them. And so I think it's been a fantastic thing where we can give them the branding that they want, the image that they want, and do everything for them in-house, because it's so important. I mean, you know, being on social media is one thing, but being on social media with content is completely different. And I think if you can relate the content to the demographic or the people you want to attract to you, I think that's really important for you.
But at the same time, you do encourage them to be involved as well, because it has to come from their mind, from their heart, from their experience.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it has to be authentic. I mean, every person that we meet with, our advisors, and they talk about social media and wanting to do this, do that, I always tell them, okay, be you. I mean, people want to relate to you on social media. So if you're really big into philanthropic and you want to give back, put it on social media, because people are also going to relate to that. If you're really big into animals and going to the dog park and this stuff, put it on social media, because people will react to that. And so I think the biggest perception, I think, with social media is you have to be one way. But there's actually 10,000 different ways of how you can kind of break the mold of whatever you want to do on social media. Biggest thing is just holding yourself to the standard of professionalism on everything that you do, because you never want to scare away customers, let's say, either saying this or posting that or whatever else.
Marketing strategy. Marketing strategy is part of your reputation as an agent, I would say, and your company. The minute you're one of the agents joining your firm, your company, they are part of the brand, and they represent you personally as well as Engel and Volkers worldwide. So marketing strategy is important. The quality is important. Do you believe in professional photography, professional video? I kind of know the answer because I was at your office meeting today, but I would like to hear it from you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's huge. I mean, you know, walking into, and this is one of the best things about Engle Volkers is our marketing, you know, materials, essentially. Being able to present yourself to the seller and say, hey, this is what I can do for your level of listing in the luxury market, or really any market, with great pamphlets and marketing and videos and pictures, all those things. It's vital to the industry. You know, I understand that the last 24 months have been a little bit easy for some people, where they walk into a house, take a picture with their iPhone, and it sells. that's not going to last. I mean, the market's already changing, and it's going to go back to where the agents have to work hard and present the listings. And, with technology today, they always say that the buyers know they're going to buy the home regardless if they ever walk in it, because when they see it in person, it's just validation. They already know what the school district's like. They already know the walkability. They already know the aerial shots, the videos around the tour, because of technology and because of professional photography and video. And so it's a huge thing into the industry.
So would you say it's a must at your office for your agents to have professional photography and let's say maybe aerial or 3D tour or anything, or video, as I understand you really believe in video, that every listing really deserves a professional approach?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's one of the biggest things that we harp on. I mean, in this type of industry, right, commission structures are always getting pushed. And so as agents, how are we proving our worth to the seller, right? One of the biggest things is we're going to bring in the photographer that we trust, the videographer that we trust, and we're going to present them when we go to market a certain way and make their house stand out compared to all the other houses in the neighborhood or whatever we may do. And one of the easiest ways and best ways to do that is by having a great photographer, a great videographer. If you're not going to do that, then my question to the agent would be, then why should the seller pay you 3%? Or why should they pay you 2.5%? Because if you're just going to take a picture with your iPhone and put it on MLS, they could do that. But what are you doing as the real estate advisor that's going to sell their house for them?
And I totally agree with you. And my saying is the house is not sold until your commission check is clear.
Yes.
So just because you had 9 offers by noon, it doesn't mean that the property has A, the best offer, and B, it's going to be sold and really closed. So there are, there can be obstacles and something can happen the last minute and you don't have any marketing material. So what you are saying is in today's situation with market and the shortage of inventory and huge, absolutely competition between your company and plenty of others around you, you have to stick to the guns and you have to stick to your professional marketing.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to ride the waves of the industry, right? The thing I love most about what our brokerage provides is, we have a lot of really seasoned advisors, been in the industry, some is 30 years, all the way up to 5 years probably. So those agents have been through the downturns and upturns and downturns and upturns. And so we're in the process now where we're kind of leaving an upturn. And so it's going to go back, like I said before, where the advisor has to do their job. And that's just where the seller is hiring them, is to sell their property. Not just put on MLS, not just take an iPhone photo, not just handle all that. They want the whole package. What are you proving as far as your value to that seller? And one of the things you do is you provide, once again, all the marketing materials, the videography, the photography, handling the multiple offer situation. We talk all the time, there's a huge difference in market where there's a listing agent and a selling agent. Listing agent is going to tell you everything that you want to hear and more. They're going to tell you whatever you want just to get a sign in the yard. The selling agent is going to tell you what you need to hear to sell the property. And that's what we do really well, I think.
No, absolutely, and you definitely do. And I understand, like in just the last few months, the market has been really changing. And you mentioned that you had 103 or 123 listings, and all of it were professionally photographed. And I greatly admire that. I think it's really great. It's something that you should be proud of, that your agents are trained so well.
Yeah, I mean, for us, we have a brand standard that we want to keep. And one of the things is, if there are pictures online that's not professional, we are going to try to find out as to why and when the new ones are coming and all of that good stuff in a very nice fashion, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I think the days of just putting it on MLS and the house will sell are slowly getting away, let's say.
How are you helping your agents to prepare for the future?
Well, I think it's knowledge is the first step. Understand where the market is today, where the market's going in the next 30 days, where it's going 40 days, 60 days, all the other stuff. Because real estate really isn't that difficult of a market to track, because it's a 30 or 60 day market in general. Because you can track on, the closed sales in June, we already know are going to come from the pending sales in May, and so on and so forth. And so for us, number one is knowledge. Understanding where the market's headed, where it's coming from, what to anticipate, all of those good things. Number two is how to change your business model or how to react to the change. So if we know that sellers are going to be pushing the price a little bit higher, then maybe we should have a, essentially come to Jesus moment on what we're going to say on the expectations of, the market you're listing in 2 months is not the market that was 4 months ago. And setting the expectations from the very beginning, both on the buying side and the seller side. And so we do a lot of coaching and accountability and training, trying to educate our advisors to do that essentially.
Did you change your strategy on recruiting and retaining of your agents?
I don't think we changed the strategy. I mean, we always retain first, recruit second. And I think that's one of the things that we do really well. I mean, in 4 years, we've had 6 agents leave. And so for me, I'll take that turnover any day of the week.
That's a compliment.
Yes. Just to give you an idea, last year we added 49 advisors. And so just this year alone, we've already added almost $300 million in production new to our brokerage this year. And so I think we have a lot of momentum. And I think it starts with treating the advisors how they should be treated and giving them the support, giving them the marketing, giving them the lead generation. And we're always trying to be the only brokerage that offers blank. If that's transaction coordination, in-house media, whatever it could be, we're always trying to be different. And I think where a lot of brokerages go wrong, not just in the city, but everywhere, is they lose the identity of what the brokerage is all really about, and it's about the agents. And we always put agents first, and so I think we do a really good job with that.
How do you vision a traditional brokerage in the near future as with everything else that's going on in the market, like the portal wars between Zillow and CoStar, or CoStar, Zillow, and traditional brokerage? I
think traditional brokerages will actually continue to succeed. I mean, if in reality, I think the last 24 months, we have gone through this very hyper digital and online and virtual brokerage whole phase. But as the market shifts, the agents are going to need the tools that the big box brokerages offer. And that's why if you look at really, let's take Jacksonville, for example. Take the top 10 brokerages in 1980 and look at them in 2022. I bet you 6 or 7 more of the exact same names. And there's a reason behind that. And I think it's because the big box brokerages offer the support, the systems, the tools, the marketing, everything that the advisor really needs to succeed. Now, some of them might offer different things or a little bit better than this or a little bit better than that. But it's impossible for those boutique firms or digital firms or online firms to give that to them. And I think, as the market continues to shift and it's more valuable as far as value you're getting from your brokerage, I think the big box brokerages will continue to succeed.
And I agree with you. I personally believe that if the agent would like to come into the office and spend some time with you, or maybe with their colleagues, or maybe just get an advice from the mortgage broker that really is actually sitting right there across the hall from me, right?
Yeah.
It's important to have their office. And I personally support the idea that what you have here and what you are offering and you being present and being in the office every day, it's also very important. And that is part of being your traditional brokerage.
It's huge, and we have 94, 95 advisors right now. Our whole thing is we never want to be the biggest. We want to be the best, but we never want to be the biggest because we don't care about how many people we have, how many locations we have. We just want to be held to a higher standard in everything that we do. But there's other brokerages who have 30 locations or 2,000 agents. I think when you start getting to that number, it's all about structure and how you manage, because I think the advisors want guidance and want leadership and want to be motivated and want to be able to have a connection with their broker or shop staff and all that. And so one of the things that we're never going to do is lose that. And I think it's really, really important that hopefully continues to set us apart from other brokerages.
No, absolutely. Totally on the same page.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the community and how you communicate with the community, your relationship, your support. Like today at the office meeting, you were talking about Special Olympics. So let's spend some time on that.
Yeah, so most people don't know this, but Engel and Volkers is the only real estate corporate sponsor for the Special Olympics America. And it's an amazing, amazing charity that we really believe wholeheartedly. And so what we've done locally is we've really bought into what we call paid at closing, where our advisors can give a small donation or a donation of any size on behalf of their customers to the Special Olympics. And it's done corporately, which is makes it obviously easy for everybody to track and do all those things. But last year we raised over $25,000, the most actually in all the Americas under Engel Volkers. 2 Special Olympics. We won the leadership award from the company. This year, we've already done over $18,000 year to date. Just past Friday, the Special Olympics Florida had a send-off at the Jaguar Stadium downtown. And we were a sponsor of it. I actually was blessed to speak at the event. We did a small fundraiser for our advisors selling t-shirts and donations and all that stuff. We raised over $800 and just in that 1 week for Engel Volker, or from Special Olympics Florida. And we were at the send-off, and obviously they're down at the Olympic Games down in Orlando this week. So just being able to support them is huge. Our goal this year is to give $40,000 in donations. I think it's at the core of it. I think everybody loves to be able to give back. And I think what we do really well as a company is we give them the ability to do it easier as possible for them, essentially. It's good.
And besides financial support, you also have volunteers who are traveling all the way to Orlando, and now they will be helping the kids and the participants to be part of the event.
Yeah. It's actually kind of funny. One of our advisors brought a suitcase to the meeting today, and she was going right from the sales meeting down to Orlando. But it just shows the culture that we have, to be honest with you. I mean, we truly have amazing people who care not only about their customers and everything else, but also want to be a part of their community and want to give back to their community. And it's not just Special Olympics. We do a lot of donations to a lot of different organizations, and so I never want to just solely highlight Special Olympics, because some people are really big into Canine for Warriors or the Veterans Fund or children's organizations or whatever else. And it's just, we're blessed to be able to have great people that want to give back in the philanthropic area.
Well, thank you so much, Corey. It's an amazing company. I love your office. So besides Engel and Volkers worldwide, globally, I can tell you that Engel and Volkers Jacksonville is very special.
Oh, thank you.
And it's a pleasure to be part of the event today at your office meeting, and also to be in this office with you now.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Corey.
Yeah.